In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the single most underdeveloped, underutilized part of Night City. This is a little place called Crunch Plaza, and in a previous video a few months ago, I actually looked at part of this location, specifically the Metal Heaven music shop, which was inevitably cut from the game. However, there's actually quite a lot more going on with this area, so much so that I've wanted to come back and show it off again. Crunch Plaza is actually referencing this area sort of near the city centre. First of all, I want to point out that Crunch Plaza, you know, the sign itself, you can see here that A is slightly adjacent to the sort of structure of the letter. Anyway, around this sign we have what is arguably one of the most obviously blatantly unfinished areas in Night City. I have genuinely seen environments outside of the map, outside of the playable boundaries, that have more detail and cohesion than this place. I mean, look at it, black and white checkered floor leading up to a set of elevators with just no details, nothing. There's no ambience here whatsoever. It's like basic models, basic lighting, and that's really about it. This sign is very clearly unfinished, right? This is like a template. This is like some version 1.0, down to the weird text placement, down to Metal Heaven being physically listed on level 3, even though Metal Heaven is completely cut from the game, and we'll get to that in due course. This location truly feels like it should be out of the playable area and not something which you can genuinely stumble across whilst playing through this game. Just vanilla, right? Even down to when you hop in the lifts and there aren't even any floors that are named. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, this is the kind of stuff which you find in like the Militech building in city centre, where, you know, CDPR never actually assigned unique names to the floors. So level 3 actually brings us out to one of the very few places where verticality is present in Cyberpunk 2077. Essentially these elevated walkways where you get some nice views of the city down below. They even connect with further pieces of verticality, as you can see. This is what I think Night City was supposed to be like pretty consistently. To be honest with you, this is really the only place in my experience with exploring Cyberpunk that has this cohesive and playable verticality, which is pretty funny because again, just like the whole of Crunch Plaza, level 3 is, you know, it's accessible, you can walk along here, but you do get like an overwhelming feeling that this was kind of the foundation for something more to then be built upon, because at the moment there is absolutely zero point in coming up here. There are no shops, there's no vendors, there's no quests, hell, there's barely even any goddamn NPCs or props. I mean, look how pristine this location is. So we can go back into the elevator and we can go up to level 4. Level 4 is truly a pretty depressing reminder that 2077 was supposed to be a lot more. You come down these areas here and you just end up with like blank walls going all the way along. Anyway, that's the first level. You can go up again to kind of like level 4 2.0. This is slightly more fleshed out. I mean, you've got like a gun range or like a gun shop, should I say, where you can go up and buy some weapons, and interestingly also a gun range which you can't actually get to. I've just opened this up with mods, but pretty much all the way down here is just this gigantic unused gun range which you should be able to use your weapons in, but for whatever reason it remains completely outside of the playable area. You got, like, again, these default facades which don't mean anything. Even further down we just have straight up nothing, like no props, no shops, literally nothing. This place just ends. And of course we get to the main attraction, which I've spoken about in a previous video. All of these further walkways, which are pretty similar to level 3, are actually blocked off by this gigantic gate thing. We can pop behind this with no clip and actually see that there is some kind of NCPD hustler sort of event going on here. We can get a little bit closer and it should pop up on screen, or maybe that time it didn't, but look, there's like NPCs that spawn in this area. There's even this lift, which actually works pretty much perfectly. This lift just stops at various parts of the building. I mean, this in itself is just a complete fucking shell of what it's supposed to be. And you can just fly around the entire exterior of Metal Heaven, which is, again, like, this is the same kind of architectural logic that is supposed to be taking the, you know, the kind of verticality by the balls. And yeah, Metal Heaven is some kind of music shop that was definitely cut from the game. If you go into Wolvenkit and do a little bit of data mining, you can see that Metal Heaven still has like shop window assets, and inside of here, even though sometimes you can get NPCs that spawn and dance around and play music and stuff, for the most part it's absolutely fucking broken, which is pretty much what's going on here. So anyway, that is Crunch Plaza in Cyberpunk 2077, an extremely fitting name for an extremely unfinished location, which is a real shame because you can see a pretty strong foundation here for elements that do here and there appear in Cyberpunk, but for the most part are largely underutilized, because I can only dream of how crazy it would be to have a, you know, fully interactable 5-story commercial vertical circle jerking session. Yeah, anyway, Orion, you better not disappoint. Anyways, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like on it, and as always, I'll catch you lot in a bit.